Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, man? How y'all doing? How y'all doing, man? It's your guy, Jesus Hawthorne. Some of y'all know me by Mr. MUB, man, Mr. Make You Better. All I do is provide financial education, along with an opportunity that would do nothing but make you better. So I'm jumping on here live real quick, man. I'm going to try to make this as short as possible. I was holding a discussion with a few people, and we kind of brought this up. It's kind of like a debate. I know when I first joined the military, everybody used to always tell me, for those who don't know, I'm active duty, got over like 18 years in, came back to Texas in preparation for retirement, so I'm stationed right here in Fort Hood, Texas. And but I had a conversation when I was at Bragg with this gentleman. He was an E7, and he was like the RNU guy. For those who don't know what RNU is, for the company or the battalion level, it's basically was a guy who he's like a handyman. Hands down, he was like the handyman. Like that was his full-time job. He worked directly before the first sergeant and the commander, and any type of handiwork that could be done for the company or for the battalion, whether it's building something or fixing something. He was the guy there to get it done. So he was an E7, and like I said, he was already in preparation for retirement. And he sat me and I was discussing to him. I'm like, what are you going to do when you retire? Like, what's your plan? What's your plan of action when you retire? Because most people that I knew in the military, they was already transitioning for a retirement job. They was in transit for a retirement job. And he was like, well, due to some assets that he had, he on top of the military pension that he's about to receive in his retirement, he's not going to be doing anything but maintaining the real estate, the houses that he have, that the Army has paid for. And I was, it really baffled me originally when he told me this. Then I was like, man, how are you going to be able to do that? I'm like, what you mean? He said, well, his father was in the military. His father was in the Army also. And so his father told him, when you join the military, one of the first things you want to do, as soon as you start gaining BAH and BAS, for those who don't know what that is, BAH is basic allotment housing. Then BAS is like basic allotment separations. So one is for the housing, and the other one is for the food. So BAH, that's like an stipend you receive that for living. So like, and you normally get access to this when you reach a certain rank, or if you are married or you're married or you got kids. One of those. Once you start having dependents, long story short, once you start having dependents, the Army will actually give you a paying stipend for you to get you living quarters outside the barracks or military quarters. So so he said, as soon as he got married, and he got married when he was a PFC, which isn't strange or anything. So he always had access to this additional income. He said, now, one of the fatal mistakes that most people do in the military is they will sit there and just give away this money. They'll give away, instead of purchasing a house, they'll be renting an apartment, renting townhouses, do whatever the case may be. He said, now, when you retire, and your retirement check, that BAH and separate is no longer there. It's no longer included. You're only going to get 50% of your base pay. You're only going to get 50% of your base pay. So whatever your, whether it's whatever your rank is, you're only going to get 50% of that base pay. He said. So what has happened to the income during that time period? And he said, what you have done, instead of you building you an asset, you have pushed it back into the economy and really built an asset for somebody else. And I was kind of blown away when I was shown these numbers. So what I would like to do is I would like to share some of the numbers that he had pretty much shared with me. And like I said, it really blew my mind. So I'm gonna look this up real quick. So I'm gonna look up Fort Hood. I'm gonna say Fort Hood. So even before I share that screen, I want to show. Let me stop share on this, because I want to share. I want to pull it. I want to be able to share that I'm introducing y'all to some hard numbers and not nothing that I've created, because one thing I love to do, I love to show that, you know, these are factual numbers, right? So give me a quick second. All right, so I'm gonna do a share screen. All right, so we're gonna share Google right quick. So I'm gonna look up Fort Hood, Texas, BAH. So this is stuff you can actually kind of look up. So 2019, let's look that up. So okay, basic allowance housing. So that's what BA stands for. Apologize. So let's look it up, man. Just kind of give you like an idea of what, like, the type of income that you can actually receive. So let's say somebody so we're dependent. So let's say somebody was married. So that's roughly like $1,000. You know, like this scenario right here is like a E3. So we're gonna keep it basic. But you see, it increases according to your rank. So I'm not gonna really go too in depth in the different levels of rank, but we just gonna use this E3. So we got 1077. All right, so let's remember that 1077. All right, 1077. $1077 a month. Now that's how much that person received a month just in BAH. All right, and I'm not even gonna use the separate rats. So I'm just gonna focus on BAH because you actually I could use some of that separate rats to add in too. But this is for housing. Separate rats is actually for food. So you got 1077 times 12. So that's for a year. So it's 12 months. So I'm about to go ahead and pull up this math real quick. So I got $12,924 a year. $12,000. Apologize for the handwriting. So I'm using a mouse over here. And even if I didn't have a mouse, it'd probably still be pretty bad. So this is a year. That's $12,924 a year. So the difference is, if you was to purchase a house, this will be going towards something that could potentially become an asset, versus if you just renting a house, if you were just, you know, leasing a townhouse or an apartment, this is money that you could never see again. Versus like when you purchase a house, you can start rolling this and start using it as potential equity into a home. Why is that so important? Because the value of houses start increasing. You know, it will start increasing. So let's say you start putting equity into a house. Let's say you mortgaged the house and it was roughly like $150,000, and you don't, and let's say over like a 3-year period of time, you know, you don't put about almost like about $35,000 into a house, but the value of the house started increasing. You know, it's the value of the house started increasing. You know what I'm saying? You got good equity in there. So when it's time for you to sell, you know what I'm saying, you actually can put yourself in a position where you can get a larger lump sum of money back after the sale, right? But if you're just renting, if you're just leasing, you're giving away money. You absolutely giving it away. So he sat me down. He was like, now he asked me a question. He was like, you know, at what year mark did I first start getting BAH and separate racks, or whatever the case may be. And I was like, well, I was roughly by like at that time I was like 3 years in before I started getting access to that. And he said, so let's do the math. So he said, so let's say, I said, okay, on the average, I'm saying about 15 years. I said about 15 years. So I've been drawing BAH and separate racks for easily about 15 years of my military career. Now, the true dollar amount of this is actually way more. It's way more because my BAH has been way beyond this $1,000 mark, because I'm a staff sergeant, I'm an E6. So the more rank you have, the more the dollar amount. So on the low end, this is exactly how much money would have been given into the economy versus me using this money to potentially build an asset, or actually have access to an asset for my family and for those that come after me. That's right, y'all. $193,860. This is why financial education is so important. And this is why practicing the right financial strategies is so important. It's almost like cliche, because I've heard it so many times where people will say, hey, you know what? Don't worry about purchasing a home to after your 20 years is over with. I've heard it so many times. And I guess depending on who you are and the type of personality that you have, that could maybe the best for you. But you really got to sit here and break this down. Does it make good sense? Does it make good financial practical sense? Because this is money that the military is literally giving you, but they're not telling you directly what to do with it. But if you use the right financial strategies, you actually can take that free money and actually build what I ain't gonna say it's free, it's well earned, but you can take this additional income and potentially have it working for you. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out real fast. So one thing he had sat down and taught me, he was like, well, because his father taught him how to go purchase a house. And this is one thing that may be kind of key, is that, who in your household has taught you how to go purchase a house? I'm gonna be honest, like in my situation, most of my family members had townhouses, had apartments. My father, he never sat me down and taught me these are the steps you need to do to go purchase a house. My mother, she didn't know either, because her mother didn't know. So she wasn't able to teach me nothing that she did not know. So these are like some great conversations that need to be had, but most people aren't in a position to have them. This guy, he was blessed, his father did. So he said his father taught him that at every duty station that you go to, don't rent no house. Don't ever rent the house. Buy the house. He said, and you can make it where, in using the right strategy along with your VA loan, this is what you do. He said, so when he was a PFC, he purchased a 3-bedroom house at Fort Campbell, Tennessee. Right when he got orders that he was about to PCS somewhere, he said he'll probably clear the house. As soon as he get the orders, he'll clear the house probably about 3 months in advance. He said, now, this is where it can get rugged. He said, if he got family and friends in the area, he'll try to make arrangements where he can live with them, because he needs to be out the house so he can get a tenant in the house. Once he got a tenant in the house, they would then pick up the mortgage. The mortgage for him, and they'll be paying on the mortgage. He would then take his VA note, and then now he can go repurchase a new house at his next location. And he kind of repeat that same cycle. He repeat the same cycle over a 20-year period. Because believe it or not, the military is small, and a lot of times you go to the same locations and come right back. He was able to have like 6 houses. He had 6 houses. 4 of them, right at his 20-year mark, 4 out of the 6 houses was already paid off. Now, he just managed to ensure that the house was paid off, but literally other people was paying the mortgage for him. Other people were paying, other soldiers, other families that was in that area. They needed a place to stay. When he was getting out of the house, he would put them into the house as a tenant. They're paying the mortgage. As they paying him rent, literally he was just transferring that money, over to the mortgage thing. So they kept the mortgage and everything up. So out of 6 houses, four of them was already paid off, and he was down to the last 2 houses. And even at the last 2 houses, one of them had a tenant that was in it that was paying the mortgage on it currently, and that second house was about to be his retirement house that him and his wife and the last of the children was going to be living in for his retirement days. And all of this real estate, these houses that he done purchased, all of this was funded through the military, BAH, and separate racks. And when he broke this down to me, man, it was truly like a kick in the stomach, because it made me think of all the places that I have been when I was in the military and the dollar amount of money that I was actually giving away unknowingly. So when you used to hear what you don't know will hurt you, man, that is absolutely true. And this is some powerful information. So that's why I made sure when I was coming from Korea, so for those who've been following me around, y'all know I was in Korea for a while. When I was coming back to Fort Hood, I was like, hey, first thing I want to do, I'm going to make sure I got myself in position to go ahead and purchase me a house, because that is critical. That's truly like the foundation to start building generational wealth. I done read it, I done heard it so many times that home ownership is like one of the first steps. You need to put yourself in a position. Go ahead and start purchasing your home. Now, I have been following what's that guy name? Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone said, don't ever buy a house. Don't ever. He said it's a game. But when Uncle Sam is giving you free money, giving you, well, I ain't gonna say free, because it is earned. You had to put yourself in a position where you can earn it. But when you don't got access for BAH and separate rats, my recommendation is to put yourself where that money could potentially become an asset for you. It can potentially become an asset for you. Matter of fact, I got a good friend, business associate to Dwayne Crawford. He said he used this same strategy. A retired CW3 Dwayne Crawford. Y'all know him, Mr. Why Cry for Money. He said he used this same strategy too to first kick off his real estate. And he's a serial entrepreneur. Not only does he have the home-based business, he actually have 2 franchises along with real estate. So he got his hands in a few things, but the main focal point is this is money that the military has available to you. If you use the right strategy, you could truly build you an asset, an income producing asset. So think about it. Those 4 houses that's already been paid off, he can use the sum, put the money that he can get tenants into those houses, and he can start focusing that income to pay off the last 2 houses. Or he can use the sum of that money as a down payment to go purchase, to basically start doubling up in real estate if he so choose. Man. So it was an excellent strategy. It was some excellent information that was shared with me. And you already know what I'm about, man. As soon as I get some good information, if I feel like it holds value, if I feel like it can help somebody else out, man, I'm going to share it. Well, I ain't going to take up too much more of your time, man. This your guy, Jesus Hawthorne. Some people know me by Mr. MUB. Man, Mr. Make You Better, because all I do is provide financial education along with an opportunity that would do nothing but make you better. And keynote, hey, for those who want to step in a real estate game, one of the first things you definitely want to do is learn how to fix and repair your credit. And I just so happen to have a powerful course that can teach you how to do just that. Believe it or not, once you got access to this information and you apply it into your life, you're going to see vast and great trainings. So reach out to me. If you could use anywhere between $200 to $800 a month of money, that is yours that you're probably losing. You're probably giving it away. I got some information that can show you where you losing the money, how to stop losing the money, and at the same time, teach you how to fix and repair your credit, along with giving you a financial plan to launch you in a position where you can gain wealth. So if any of this information has value, man, share. If anybody shared this with you, reach back out to them and ask them, like, hey, you know what? I would like to know more. What is it that he's about? Because if anybody shared this with you, it's a strong possibility, man. They're a business associate of mine, and they have the same information that I'm sharing right now, and they can go into greater detail. So, man, it's your guy, MUB. I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, but at the same time, there's only one team in America. Everybody else is just visiting. Let's go Cowboys. Yeah, I said it. Let's go Cowboys, man. That's what I'm all about, man. So I'm gonna watch the Super Bowl just to cheer on the person who is losing. Yes, go ahead and lose. I wish everybody could lose. Nah, I'm just having fun, man. I'm really having fun. But nah, there's serious, man. Drink responsibly. Have a good time. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and y'all be blessed till next time, man. Peace.